This is my introduction. So, you're playing Elden Ring and you've just bested Margit the Fell or defeated Godric the Grafted in single combat, and now you have a ton of level ups to spend. Well, what stats do you want to spend those levels on? From Software games are famously very bad at explaining their level up mechanics. I'm Ian Jones. By the end of this speech, you should be able to understand, essentially, what stats you want to spend your levels on and how to compare the stats to decide what would be the best for you at that given moment. This is the body of my speech. So there are 7 stats in Elden Ring, but just because that would take so long to explain, I've pared it down to just 4. Vigor, Endurance, Mind, and Damaging stats. So the problem with deciding which stat is better than the other is that they aren't always exactly related. So for example, how can you know whether it would be better to have 1 more dodge rolls worth of Endurance or 10 more hit points from Vigor? Well, the problem with that is that they aren't related, so you have to look at percent increases. And so the essential premise for deciding levels is how much damage can you deal per health point. Now, Vigor, the stat that increases your health by more percentage per point than the damaging stats will. So for trying to achieve more health per damage, Vigor is pretty much the best thing to spend your stats on for the first few levels, because the more health you get, the better your health per damage point percentage is going to be. So, for example, if you have 800 health and you upgrade Vigor 10 times, that's going to increase the amount of damage you can take far more significantly than the amount of damage you'll be able to deal. The other 2 stats, Mind and Endurance, also have their own purposes. Mind increases the amount of focus points you gain. Focus points is a currency for spells and actions that you can take in Elden Ring. Anything that costs magic costs focus points. Now, focus points wouldn't be useful for someone who's just swinging a giant hammer around. But if you're a mage, focus points would be extremely useful to be able to cast spells or perform arts of war. Well, so because of that, we have to look at more than just health per damage. You also have to look at utility. Now, the principle for focus points is, do you have enough focus points to cast the amount of spells that you want to cast? And if the answer is yes, then you're good. And if the answer is no, then you got to put some more into FP, or Mind, as it's called in the Elden Ring stats. Now, Endurance, the third one, has the most kind of complex method of deciding benefits and drawbacks, because it increases a lot of different stats. So, I'll give it the same rule of thumb as mine. If you feel like you're not getting enough Endurance, or you can't equip all the weapons you'd like to, that's when you might want to put some points into Endurance. So, this is my conclusion. Essentially, you just it's not a mathematical principle beyond the first few levels. You just look at, am I getting hit too much? Then I need to upgrade Vigor. Am I being able to cast the spells I like? Then you'd upgrade Mind. Really, it's mostly just what would you like to get out of your build? What would give you the most fun? So, in Elden Ring, I hope you'll be able to level up as much as you like and get the stats that you want.